Oops. And welcome back. Should I start that over and try that again? I don't know. Welcome back to the Dev Mentor Dave channel. Thanks for jumping on here. If you're watching live on Twitch or watching live on YouTube, jump in the chat, say hello, join the conversation. If you have a question, write at Dev Mentor Dave at the beginning of it, and that'll just highlight it in either chat so I can see it. Currently, we are putting the chat down in the box for Twitch, but I was talking actually to one of my clients yesterday who also does some live streaming, and he was telling me about his setup and the things that he has going on from like a tool standpoint, and so I might look into changing up how I do this streaming thing, do it maybe a little bit differently. We'll see. But welcome, Ming. Good to see you. I figured you'd be jumping in here. So welcome back to the channel. Sorry I was not able to get live yesterday. I ended up being out of the house pretty much from about 10 a.m. till almost 10 p.m. So kind of hard to get live on the with the setup and everything, right? You know, if you're not where the setup is. So anyway, thanks for jumping on and saying hello. I apologize for not being here yesterday, but life happens. And you know, I just have to say, you developers, you junior developers really have it pretty good when it comes to tools and knowledge and access to knowledge and things like that. I was talking to somebody today in an interview, and they were talking about all the things that they had to yeah, that's not going to happen. All the things that they had to learn and how quickly they had to learn them, and just happen to go to like Stack Overflow to figure stuff out, and it's awesome as Stack Overflow is and was. Like, you just have such, well, all of us have such better tools now, at least maybe perhaps easier to use tools than in the past. And of course, you still have to know how to use them well. There's still that part of it, obviously, but man, with AI today and just all of the things that it has access to, it's really amazing. You guys have a really great opportunity. Now, I know that, you know, as the comics say, with great opportunity or great power comes great responsibility, right? So that means you're going to be expected more, right? Was the candidate DSA Mookie? No. Hey, welcome, Climber. So, but it was interesting, you know, I actually had an issue, and Clawhammer can back me up on this one. So I had an issue today at work where one of the applications that we use internally stopped working. It actually, all it was really was an SSL issue. And I'm talking about how junior devs need to realize how good they have it. especially with the tools they have today. That's what we're talking about, Clawhammer. But anyway, so I had a problem today, and one of the applications that we use is self-hosted. We have it on a DigitalOcean droplet, which is different from where we have most of our other stuff. So that was fun. But it's something that we use every day. Like, all of our devs use it, and the SSL certificate stopped working. Yeah, exactly. So they so I was like, okay, that's not a big deal. You know, you can go in. I think we're probably using Let's Encrypt. Just probably needs to have a command run, and we get it up and running, right? Oh, yes, that would have been nice if that's all it was. So it turns out that when this application was set up, it's not set up in any of the way that our other applications are set up. It's Dockerized, so it's running off of Docker, and you can't run the command for Let's Encrypt to update the file, or I'm sorry, this SSL cert. without turning the Docker instance off. So you had to turn Docker off, update the file, and then it turns out that you have to actually use some key set command or something to concatenate the files, the certs, into another type of file and put that up there, make sure it has the right permissions. It literally took me like 3 hours to figure this out. And that's with using ChatGPT. So you guys do not know how awesome you have it now to be learning in a day and age where you can literally copy an error and put it into ChatGPT or Claude or something like that, and it goes through and looks at what the issue is and gives you exactly what the problem most likely is, or several things that it could be. Right? I guarantee you, there's no way I would have figured out what the problem was with this certificate issue had it not been for ChatGPT. And now I've been doing development work for a long time. I've worked with Docker before, so none of the pieces of the puzzle were necessarily things that I didn't understand, right? I understood the concepts. I've messed with all those things before. I've used Let's Encrypt. I've messed with SSL certs. I've even worked with DigitalOcean droplets, SSHing in, all that fun stuff, right? So it's not like really any of that stuff was actually new to me. The problem was that the problem I was facing was something that was new to me, that was outside of my understanding of how all those things fit together, specifically how Docker was looking at it. And I spent a lot of time going down even the wrong path, because the way that the Docker instance was set up, it was looking for specific files, but I couldn't tell what files it was looking for because I didn't know where the right place to go to find the configuration script was. And even then, certain things had like passwords to them. I had to figure that out. It was a long day. It took probably about a third of my day, if not more. And poor people like Clawhammer were sitting there waiting for me to get it back up and running so that they could use it to do the things that they needed to do. I don't know if anybody else was working on it, but I think it was just me. But it was crazy. But the reality is, I've been doing development for, non-professionally, I've been doing development since 1999. So that's like 26 years, something like that. Is that right? Yeah, 26 years. So I've been writing code. I'll put it that way. I've been writing code for 26 years. So I've seen a lot of things over those 26 years. That doesn't mean that I know nearly as much as some other people who've been doing a lot less, or people who've been doing it a lot longer, like Clawhammer. But I've been working with this stuff for a long time. There's lots of stuff that I've seen, but even with that, there's lots of stuff that I haven't seen, I haven't messed with, and I can just tell you, I don't know that I would have figured out what the actual problems were without ChatGPT. Now, I might have been able to get down the path eventually just using normal since 11 and 12 years old. No, I'm older than that. Unless you're talking about yourself. You might be talking about yourself, Clawhammer. So I was 18 when I first started, I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, you've been doing a lot longer than me. So you should be the one actually on here telling people how to do stuff. But anyway, could I maybe have gotten down the path eventually with just Google or Stack Overflow or something like that? Possibly. And quite frankly, I don't know for sure that I could have, just knowing my own skill set and abilities and knowledge, and even knowing what to put in to the search engine to find the thing that I'm looking for. But to be able to literally copy paste content and screenshots and error messages and things like that into ChatGPT and have it be like, oh, well, I see this is what's going on. Let's try this, right? And having it be able to give me multiple options and give me the actual commands to, excuse me, the commands to run. And, all those things are just amazing. And I say all that to say this. I know that there are times when you're going through the process of learning and growing that it feels like you're trying to do something that is too difficult. That Look for ways to make it easier, but look for ways to make it stick. So now I have, through this whole process, I understand better how that actually works, right? So now that I know how that actually works, I'm going to go back and I'm going to document all the steps that need to be done so that in 3 months, when this stupid certificate fails again, I'm going to know how to go back and do it. And somebody else on my team can know how to go back and do it. I mean, if, something were to happen to me between now and then, or if maybe I'm just unavailable, I need to make sure that that's documented, right? So could you put that in a place where Claude or ChatGPT has access to it so that some people don't have to go look for it again? Sure, absolutely. And maybe we'll do that eventually down the road as well. But when you're using these tools, appreciate them. Please appreciate them, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know how much work it would normally take to get things done. And I was just posting. I was talking to one of the other directors in our chat at work, and he was like, "Good job, dude. I don't think I would have known how to do that." And I was like, "Well, I wouldn't have known how to do it either if it weren't for ChatGPT." So just appreciate everything that you have available to you. Obviously, I love doing this mentoring. I think there's still a huge need for it, even with things like ChatGPT or Claude or things like that. But you need to take advantage of those things. And I know even just a year ago, I was very poo-poo on the AI side of things. But I think we really got to take our time and jump in and learn how to use these tools well, so that we can be useful, right? This is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to be useful for ourselves, for the companies that we work for. And the more you learn these tools, the better you learn these tools, the more it's going to help you be useful, both now and in the future. Because, I mean, this stuff's not going away. It's only going to be more and more integral to what we do on a daily basis in the days ahead. So as much as I would love to say this is not something that you should have to worry about, it is. And you need to be careful to be putting it into your process, even today, even in your learning process. You need to start putting it in there, and just making sure that when you do that you appreciate how much it's actually doing for you. Now, again, does that mean that you should just rely on it for everything? Absolutely not. There's a reason why all of the LLMs that you can interact with say, "Oh, by the way, I can be wrong." There's a reason for that, because, by the way, they can be wrong, right? So you definitely have to be careful about how you use it and learn to use it well. But when you're using it, be grateful for everything that it's doing for you, because as somebody who has had to learn a lot of things over the last 26 years in programming, being able to figure things out quickly, being able to get information that you would probably have to go to multiple sources to find, really at a moment's notice, being able to just throw screenshots or throw copy pasted content from a terminal into something like this. I mean, it really is really, really amazing, and you need to appreciate it for how much it actually is beneficial to you. So anyway, that is my topic for the day, my hobby horse. I will jump off of it now. Most likely unless somebody has a question that they want to ask surrounding that specifically. But if you have another question or just have another topic you want to talk about, jump in the chat, say hello, drop it in the chat, and we will tackle it. You'll at least get my opinion, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's right or not. I don't care. You'll get my opinion. and I'm the one that controls what goes out. So there. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Clawheimer says, back in the days we had to fight looking at books, documentation, yeah, and more. Yeah, exactly. I will say I never really got into the whole book thing. I don't think I own any programming books. I was when I really got serious about it, there was enough stuff online. Oh, excuse me. That that it was not. I didn't have to go buy books. I know even now there's still a lot of devs that buy books, but thankfully no. I didn't have to delve into the books too much. What did you ask the candidate? I'm just curious how you steer your interviews and expectations. So both of these actually were a little bit different than normally I would do a full interview. Um, One of these was actually with somebody that had some experience with us before, so um, so that was a little bit different conversation. And another one was I was sitting in on an interview where they had pretty much already done a previous interview. Um, and so most of my questions really were just kind of getting to know them, understanding where they're coming from, what their experience was in, and then also, making sure they kind of understood what our expectations were. So again, it wasn't, both of the interviews I was on today really were not like, they weren't like the standard interview where you're interviewing somebody that doesn't have any connection with the company. So that's a little bit different. So, um, I don't know. There really wasn't any. There's not like any like pertinent questions that I would say were things that were really steering the conversation outside of just getting to know them, getting to know their experience, and if they felt like a good fit conversationally. Both of them had the skill set and the experience. So that wasn't really an issue in the current conversation, based on other conversations in history. So kind of a little bit weird, honestly, Ming. Different from most of the other interviews that we do. So it's kind of a weird day for that. So I don't know. There wasn't really anything too crazy or interesting, honestly. Uh, just a lot of talking. And really, both of them are pretty short. I think they were both only about 20-30 minutes. So it wasn't the same type of interview as I would normally give, or that I probably will give here in the near future. So, what was your first impression of an ideal candidate? Uh, what was our first impression of an ideal candidate? Hmm. I think for me, it comes down to, um, and this sounds unfair probably, but it comes down to personality. Like if somebody is personable and they're interactive and you can talk to them, and they'll respond more than just a quick answer or a short answer. Like somebody who they don't have to carry the conversation, but you can tell that they could carry the conversation if you wanted them to, right? So somebody uh, who if they feel like you're giving them freedom will go into more detail. Um, an ideal candidate for me is somebody who can really articulate well what they've done, um, from a technical perspective, and what they've learned, and how they see themselves in a specific role, what they enjoy doing. Um, Again, it really comes down to communication, right? If it's somebody who can communicate well, and it's a little bit unfortunate because it, what we typically think that we want is somebody who can code well. And I think really most of the time, especially nowadays with the tools that we have available to us, Um, Being the best coder is not the thing that's going to get you the job. Now you need to be able to write code and do it well, um, and you need to be able to demonstrate that. But I think for me, the ideal coder is somebody who can then communicate, who can carry on a conversation, who can talk about technical things, potentially even in a less technical way, um, because that shows an ability to adapt. That shows an ability to interact with others, even if they're not even if everybody on the team is a developer, and they're all kind of nerds and geeks. That's always fun. But being able to, even in uh, that type of group setting, you still need to be able to communicate well, and you need to be able to interact with people well, because eventually you're going to find something that is weird or odd about yourself or about them, and that's going to be a natural barrier to communication. And it might even just be conflict within, a situation comes up as part of your daily process and on the project, and maybe there's a conflict of whose idea is better, right? What's the best way to handle this specific scenario? And I'm sure Clawhammer could probably tell you a few stories, even about us talking about some of those things. The nice thing is I outrank him internally, so he has to do what I say. No, seriously though, I mean, every project, every team's going to have conflict of some sort. And so having developers that have the ability to communicate, that have the ability to talk through issues, especially that don't get rattled very quickly, right? If you can talk through a situation, a scenario, a problem, and you don't get rattled very easily, that is an ideal candidate for me, because there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like the way you're doing something or wants you to do something a different way, and there's always going to be some sort of conflict. And it may just be interpersonal issues, right? I mean, there could be lots of reasons why there's conflict on a team, but the people who are able to communicate well are the people who can maneuver through those sometimes points of crisis within the team and come out better on the other side, and come out better together on the other side. So while we do focus a lot and need to focus a lot on the coding aspect of being a developer, I think probably the most important thing is the ability to communicate effectively who you are, what you can do, and how you interact with people. And if you can communicate well, I'm a firm believer that anybody who's at least learned a language, they can pick any other language up. They can most likely, given enough time and mentoring and things like that. I'm not saying everybody can write code. I think that's a horrible statement. But a lot of people can write code, but not everybody can communicate with other developers in a team dynamic. And almost unless you're working by yourself for yourself, almost anywhere you're going to need to have that skill set. Now, some people can get by with a very small amount of that skill set, and there are times when I would interview somebody and I would still be interested in hiring them even if they don't meet that ideal candidate, right? Because they might have some other things in spades that outweigh the necessity of communication. Or I may just feel like, you know what, this person is really, really good at what we need. I can manage the communication with them and for them, right? So I can, as a lead, or I can, as a director, handle that little bit of oddity in their personality and maybe an inability in their soft skills. I can manage that, with one person. Now, if I have to do that with, 10 people, that's going to become a problem. But I can do that one person, 2 people out of 10. I could manage some of that, a little bit better. But what you really want, and I think one of the other marks of a senior developer is that ability to communicate, is that ability to not just do the hard tickets, but also have the ability to communicate how to break down those tickets, help other people understand what they're working on, be able to communicate even potentially with clients and things like that. So I really truly feel like communication is the mark of the ideal candidate for me. So hopefully that answered your question, Ming. I don't know. Ming says that's true. I've met so many devs and some seem very dull. Well, you know, I put on a bold face here, and in the office, but I'm pretty dull too. When you really break me down, I would say my family probably thinks that I'm pretty dull as well. So I spend all of my energy, you know, being extemporaneous and being what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. Gregarious, you know. I spend all that energy right here on the on these phone calls. That's probably why I'm as tired as I am, because I'm on so many calls all day long. I have to be so gregarious. I would like to just crawl back in my shell sometimes. Excuse me. So, and I'm tired. That fight with the SSL certs and Docker took it out of me today. So there's that. Oh man. Do you have any updates, Ming, on the on any of your interviews recently? You haven't said you gotten a job, so I would assume you either haven't heard from them or hasn't been great feedback. But I do want to make sure that we keep up to date on that. Just because you have 8,000 interviews every week, you have more interviews than I do, and I'm the one interviewing people. Oh man, I had a rude awakening yesterday. Youthful Grandpa Dave is very friendly, always smiling. Well, I would not say I'm always smiling. And Climber could tell you that too. Not always smiling. I have bad days as well. I will tell you this. I enjoy jumping on here and talking to you guys. So this makes me happy. Oh man, good grief. Sorry. I am really fighting the yawning today. We're almost up anyway. What was I saying? I don't remember. You find out for the retail one tomorrow. At least they gave you a date. That's good. A lot of times they'll just tell you sometime in the next couple days or next couple weeks, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to plan for that? So that's good. At least you'll find out. That would be really nice. It sounds like, since you've worked there before. So I don't know. I mean, I guess my question is, do you want that? Do you want that job, Ming? Because since you've worked there before, or are you just kind of at the point where you'll take anything? Oh, somebody else snuck on here. If you're watching live, jump in the chat. We're about ready to get off. There's another person on Twitch. Nobody else is on YouTube. I did switch over to doing both Twitch and YouTube because I haven't been able to have the time to actually edit these and upload them to YouTube. So that way it's just easier to get content on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely, man. I totally agree with Clawhammer on that one. Live coding tests are horrible. I hate it. I hate live. I don't like live coding tests as a applicant, and I don't like them as an interviewer either. I mean, I've done that diatribe before, so we won't go into it again. But I don't think you really learn anything other than how nervous somebody is when they're doing live coding tests. So okay, I thought you had said that was one you were really wanting. So that's cool, and especially since you've worked there before in the retail side, being able to know people that are there too. I'm sure that's always nice. So cool. Well, hopefully you get some good news tomorrow. That'll be awesome. I believe I will be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central United States time. I don't think there's anything that should pop up and get in my way, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to see what we find out here, Ming, and see if you're able to get that. Hopefully, they actually get back with you. Um, I don't think the retail one has a live coding test. That's good. Did you ever get the other one turned in that was supposed to be like an 8-hour one? The take home one that you were going to cheat on? I'm just kidding. um, but yeah, let us know tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll hear tomorrow. Let us know what you find out from the retail job, and it would be awesome to be able to celebrate with you again. We've tried celebrating in the past before, but they only lasted a couple days. So hopefully, this will be a much better situation for you too. Do you? I forget for this one. Do they have anybody there that's a senior that can help mentor you? I'm asking lots of questions, and poor Ming has to type all these answers out. And I'm just gonna sit here silently until he gets a chance to answer them. Oh, okay, you already submitted it. All right, cool, awesome. All right, well, while I wait for him to catch up, I will start wrapping things up here. So thanks for jumping on, everybody. If you're watching this later on YouTube, leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're if you're watching on Twitch live or later, I guess you can watch them later. They just drop off after a few days. But if you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. We finally got past 10 followers. Yay. Or we got 10 followers, I should say. So hit the follow button on Twitch. If you're watching this later on YouTube, go over to Twitch, find it. There should be a link to it, and hit the follow button over there too. We got 3,000 followers on YouTube, but only 10 on Twitch. So let's pump the numbers up, baby. Okay, nice. That's good. There's a principal and a senior. Awesome. So they should be in a position to be able to help you and mentor you too. So I know that's one of the things with the other ones. They may have acted like they had it, but didn't really seem to. So that's good. That's good. Hopefully that'll be a much better situation for you moving forward. So awesome. All right. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for jumping on. Hey, I actually made it on time today. I had everything set up. No, you can't complain. I know I missed yesterday, but no complaints for today. All right. But no, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for joining the conversation, listening to my diatribe about my anger with Docker and SSL certs and all those fun things. But thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing what's going on in your day here on the Workday Recap. I forgot to say that at the beginning. I need to remember to say the Workday Recap at the beginning. How long have I been doing this? Months and months, and I still forget all the simple things. Oh well. I just kind of get used to just jumping in and chatting with you guys, which really that's what we're here for. I'm not here necessarily to just give you my opinion on a bunch of stuff. I want to help you in your development journey, whatever that looks like, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central United States time, and every Saturday from 10 to noon Central United States time as well. And I will absolutely not be doing any push-ups. Thank you very much, Ming. So anyway, have a good day, guys. Thanks for jumping on. I will see you all here tomorrow afternoon.